What's up, everyone? Happy Saturday. Welcome to Rivera Urban Homestead. This morning I was just getting the food leftovers out of the fridge. We normally do it on Friday or Saturday. Get all the food leftovers out that we're not going to eat anymore. Get them all together and feed them to the chickens. And that just helps us maintain our trash production. We don't really like to throw too much out. So with giving them our food scraps, we're basically recycling it right back into the homestead. So that got me to thinking, let me do a video about the benefits of raising your own backyard chickens. First one, you're not throwing away all your food scraps into the dump. It's actually going into either your compost pile, into the compost run that I do. So I feed them in here, they churn it up, the stuff they don't eat compost down, goes into the pile, back into the garden, the cycle begins. So number one is not throwing away all your leftovers. Feed them to your chickens. Okay, and here's what I'm talking about. Some leftovers. This is some leftover steak, leftover pork chops, some noodles and stuff in here, asparagus, purple potatoes, white potatoes, strawberries, cranberries that are getting a little too soft for our liking. So all this beautiful food, all the different colors, the spectrums, it's all going to get fed to the chickens. And in return, they're going to be healthy. They're going to have all the different nutrients they need to produce some of the best eggs you can have. And that's one of the other benefits we'll get into in a minute. So instead of throwing this out in the trash, it is now going into the chicken run, and they will enjoy it, and it will compost and go right back into the garden eventually. Alright, let's go give them their yummy lunch. They're omnivores, guys. They will eat pretty much anything you give them. Some things you should not give them is, well, we'll get into that in a minute. Let's feed them first. All kinds of stuff to eat in here, guys. This will keep them occupied. That one's mowing down on some steak she found. And there you go. Instead of throwing out your food scraps, feed them to the chickens. Alright, so instead of telling you everything chickens can eat, let me tell you a couple of things that you shouldn't feed them. Avocado parts, they say, are kind of toxic to them, the skins and the seed. Apple seeds, don't feed them the apple seeds, they love the apples. Anything salty, you don't want to give them any salty foods, or anything really potent like citrus or onion, probably want to stay away from that. Also stay away from dried or raw beans. Don't give them any beans, make sure they're cooked through before you feed it to them. That's pretty much it. Chocolate, you don't want to give them any candy. Pretty much anything else they'll eat. All meat, vegetables, fruits, anything in your garden they'll eat. Just stay away from them couple of things, salty, citrus, onions, avocados, and you'll be good to go. Everything else right in there. Another benefit to having backyard chickens, guys, they're cool. They're affectionate. They have their own moods, their own habits. They're very cool to have. Kids love it. It teaches them a little bit of responsibility once you get them feeding them, watering them, and it just helps self-sustain yourself. I have chickens, I have a garden, I get eggs, I get manure for compost, which is another benefit we'll talk about here in a minute. But second benefit to having backyard chickens is the entertainment, the therapy of having them. Really cool animals. And like I said, they have their own agenda, so you just kind of get to sit back and watch them and enjoy. Give them a little pet every once in a while because they love that. And they're very smart. Very cool pet. The kids love it too. Third benefit to having backyard chickens is they get to free range. They get to act like chickens instead of being cooped up in a factory farm. But the main thing is they're always foraging. They're always looking around, digging up stuff. And what that does, is they eat a lot of insects. So benefit number 3 to chickens is pest control. They will eat a lot of different things, guys, a lot of different bugs throughout the day. So I let them roam around and they'll eat up the bugs. If you don't believe me about pest control, watch these, watch these mealworms. They just took out 50 mealworms in what, 10 seconds? Okay guys, go take your nap now. Definitely good pest control. Alright guys, and the 4th benefit of having backyard chickens is the manure. Chicken manure is considered a hot manure, meaning you don't want to put it directly on your plants in your garden when it's fresh. It will burn your plants and kill them. But it works great in the compost pile. You compost that down, it's black gold, guys. And it also has high NPK numbers, higher than cow manure, horse manure, steer manure. This chicken manure, I've been letting it sit in the run for 8 months, accumulated with leaves and straw. Once this breaks down, guys, and it gets in my garden next year, my production is going to go up just because of the chicken manure, I guarantee it. So, 4th benefit, chicken poop. And of course, last but not least, chicken eggs. I get pretty much 1 egg a day per chicken. So you're looking at 3 eggs a day for my family. It's awesome. And these eggs are far more superior than any one you're going to get at the store. These are not factory raised. My chickens don't stay in a little container so small they can't even move. My chickens do not eat junk feed like they do at the factory farm. And my chickens are happy, unlike the ones at the factory farm. These eggs are produced by chickens that roam around in the backyard, act like chickens, eat insects, nibble on plants, eat all the food that I give them, eat their organic feed rations. They have their oyster shells they need. They have their grit that they need for their, gullet there, their gizzards, to keep that working correctly. I put apple cider vinegar in their water every time just to give them a nice little digestive cleansing. And my chickens are happy. And in turn, I get these eggs. These eggs are like 3 times higher in omega-3 fatty acids, 7 times more vitamin C, and probably like 15% less cholesterol than you get from those chickens that are just sitting there getting fat, eating unhealthy food, and you're eating their eggs. I'm eating farm fresh backyard chicken eggs right here, guys. Organic. So it's in the pudding, man. You break one of these eggs open and then you break a store-bought one and you look at the yolks. Mine are like 3 to 4 times darker and deeper and richer looking in the yolk than any store egg you're going to put next to it. So get your chicken flock going. You get your compost, you get your eggs, you get the enjoyment of having them, you get to watch them, you get to have your kids do some chores that'll help them become good stewards of the land and good animal husbandry behaviors. They can get into 4-H with these things, I'm thinking about maybe doing rabbits as well to get Tyler involved in that as he grows up. So animals are good. Chickens are awesome. They're really cool to have. So go ahead and get you guys some. We'll talk to you on the next one. Thanks.